Retatrutide will get the weight off you. You know that, I know that, your freaking grandma knows that. But what you stack with it decides whether that weight is actually going to stay off. And that's where most people get this whole thing backwards. They stack for faster loss, when the peptides that actually matter are the ones that make the loss permanent. I mean, who doesn't want permanent weight loss, right? God damn. I mean, I got so tired of losing and regaining, and you guys know the drill. So let's go through the ones that earn a place next to retatrutide in the order that's best to add them. And a few of them do more than just protect your weight loss. We're talking better skin, a gut that finally settles down, and sleep that you actually recover from. And I'll show you where to fit those too. I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I coach thousands of patients through GLP-1 and peptide protocols. I run retatrutide myself, right on that border between a low dose and a microdose. I lost my weight years ago, about 100 pounds, long before any of these medications existed. What I do now is optimization work, and I work alongside our medical team who handle the prescriptions, while I get to focus on what's just a ton of fun for me, helping you guys get your protocols down. So here's the thing about retatrutide that makes this entire conversation different. In my clinical experience, Reta is the strongest GLP-1 that we have for metabolic health. The triple agonist, baby, GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. Where the compounds people were stacking around 2 years ago were hitting 1 to 2. So when you go add something to it, you're not filling in for a weak medication, you're adding already to a powerful one. And that's exactly why the stack question gets answered so badly. Most of the lists that you'll find are ranked by hype. What people are talking about is what's new, what somebody's affiliate link is on. But Reta already covers most of what those compounds do. If you're paying for a peptide that does a job Reta finished before you woke up, you're paying twice for a single job. So here's how I want you to think about it instead. There are 4 jobs that retatrutide doesn't really finish. Almost every peptide worth your money fills one of them. So with number 1, we got appetite. Reta handles it for a lot of people, but not for everybody and not forever. Number 2, releasing fat that won't move, even when everything else is dialed in. And then number 3, the engine, whether your cells can actually burn what you release. And then number 4, muscle. And this is the one that decides whether you're going to keep that weight off long term. That's 4 jobs. That's a map, and a map isn't a schedule. Which job is yours depends on where you're standing right now. Okay, so before any of that, there's a floor. You got to get your protein, 1 gram per pound of your target body weight. That's the number that we use. Resistance training, real training, at least twice a week, and baseline labs so that you know what you're working with. I'm not saying that to be the guy who tells you to go eat your vegetables. I'm saying it because peptides give you a fraction of what they're capable of when the foundation underneath is broken, especially on body composition, which is the whole point for a lot of you guys, right? We want to get in shape, we want to look better, we want to feel better. Some of you want to get jacked. Yeah, I said it. And they still carry their side effects either way. So you take on the risk and you leave the return. So if the floor isn't there, fix that before you spend another $1 on a vial. There's also a sequencing rule buried inside one of those jobs. And running it backwards is the most expensive mistake that I see. It's why so many stacks feel dead. And we'll get to all of that, I promise. So let's start with the first one here. And if you're layering 3 or 4 compounds on top of your Reta and you're not confident the interactions are clean, that's what we're built for, guys. We prescribe through our partner 503A pharmacies, and there's a real medical team behind it. Reachable by text or phone when something comes up mid-protocol. You can text a number on the screen or use the link that's in the description, and that books you up a free discovery call with our team. Appetite. Reta is strong here, the most effective agent that a lot of our patients have ever been on, but it's not for everybody. And the internet gets this next part completely wrong. Retatrutide is the strongest GLP-1 for metabolic health. That does not automatically make it the strongest appetite suppressor for you personally. Now, I coach patients who have switched from tirzepatide to Reta. They lost more weight and they still say tirzepatide quieted the food noise better. Now, both things are true at once. I've also helped people, same scenario, hey, I'm not eating as well as I did on tirzepatide, and they don't lose weight or they start gaining weight. That's the main problem that we're trying to address. You're lucky if you can eat more on Reta and not lose weight. Like, that doesn't happen too often, although it was kind of one of the weird things about how powerful retatrutide is. So what do you do if Reta is doing great work on your metabolism, but your appetite is still loud at 8 o'clock at night? The popular answer is just to push the Reta dose up until the appetite finally gives in. More of the thing that's already working, right? Sometimes friends, that's right. But if your metabolic side is already dialed in where you're at, climbing the dose just to quiet the food noise means you take on every side effect of the medication on those higher doses to fix one of the 4 jobs. There's a second version of this that's even worse. Bolt a full dose of something else on top and run both hard. When 2 compounds are both running hard, you lose the ability to read them separately. Something goes sideways, nausea, fatigue, a heart rate that you don't like. And if you've been moving both doses, good luck telling which one did it. What I'd rather see is a low dose of Retatrutide alongside a low dose of tirzepatide. I want to be precise about why, because this is not more receptors here. Tirzepatide hits GLP-1 and GIP. Reta hits both of those plus glucagon. Tirzepatide is not adding a receptor that Reta doesn't already have, but what it adds is a second dial. Different molecule, different balance across those receptors. Now the part that actually matters, different people respond to the 2 of them differently on appetite. And that's not theory. That's the patients that I just described. More weight on Reta, quieter appetite on tirzepatide. Same person. So if appetite is the problem, we move the tirzepatide dial. If the metabolic side needs more, that's the Reta dial. Now, under supervision, of course, with labs at the lowest effective dose of each, rather than a big old dose of either medication. Now, some of you might be thinking this is a little redundant. Reta already does that, and if Reta has your appetite handled, that's fair. Don't need a tirzepatide, don't add anything. This isn't for you, but redundancy is 2 compounds both running at a full dose doing one job. 2 low doses that you can move independently, each one answering a different question. Now that's control, my friends. And if that 2 dial idea was completely new to you, you need to hit that subscribe button because we put out 2 peptide videos every single week, and most of them are the exact kind of thing that we're talking about, the mechanical reasons behind a protocol, not just giving you the protocol. Okay, so appetite handled. But a lot of you are eating right, dosing right, doing the things correctly, and the scale still won't budge. Now, this is the stall, not a plateau where you've stopped doing the work, a legitimate stall where the work is happening and the scale is just sitting there. It's like crickets, right? I hear it constantly. Weeks where little changes and nothing about the protocol explains it. Job number 2 is getting the fat out of your cells. The tool that we use for that job is AOD 9604. Here's what AOD does. And this is where almost everybody goes wrong in one direction or the other. AOD signals stored fat to release. It nudges the burn side along with it. What it does not do is create the demand. Nothing about AOD makes your body need that fuel, which is why you'll read people online saying that it's a game changer and other people saying that it did absolutely nothing for them. Now, both of them are being honest about what happened, and I can explain either scenario. If fat gets released and there's no energy demand waiting for it, aka a calorie deficit, you're just gonna store that fat right back. You unlock the door and nobody walked out. That's what I call the metabolic 2-piece. AOD is the supply side. Your GLP-1 and your training produce the demand side. Supply without demand is a wasted vial. Demand without supply is why stubborn areas won't budge for the people who are grinding. I know that you're watching this because you're a grinder. Here's a question worth sitting with for a second here. If a friend told you their AOD did nothing for 2 months, what's the first thing that you'd ask them about? So if you're going to use AOD, it goes in when the demand side is real. You're training, you're in a calorie deficit, and your machinery is already running, not as a rescue when nothing's working. And that's the first place that these numbers stop being in order. Job 2 is second on the list because that's where it sits logically. Release comes before burn. It is not second in line for most of you. If the demand side isn't real yet, AOD is just a vial or a troche that you bought early. Because notice what just happened here. We released the fat. Nothing so far says your cells can burn it. Now that, my friends, is job number 3, the engine. And inside this one job, there's an order almost everybody runs backwards. That's the work that happens in your mitochondria. That's the part of your cell that turns fuel into energy. And there's a category of peptides built to push exactly that. MOTS-c and Sloop 332 are the 2 compounds that you'll hear called exercise in a bottle, because that's honestly the cleanest way to describe what they do. Now, quick precision note here because the comments will catch it. MOTS-c is a peptide. Sloop 332 isn't. It's a small molecule that works on a different target. Same job on this map, different chemistry. They flip on some of the same cellular switches that a hard training session flips. Not a replacement for training, a signal that mimics part of it. They're impressive compounds, and they are the single most common place that I see people waste money on this entire map. Here's why. If you've been running a GLP-1 for years, sleeping badly, carrying a lot of metabolic damage from years of insulin resistance. Your mitochondria aren't just underused, they're freaking beat up. And what a mimetic does is tell a beat up engine to rev harder. You don't rev up a damaged engine, you repair it first. That's the rule that almost nobody follows. And it's the sequencing mistake that I promised you earlier. SS31 before MOTS-c. SS31 works at the structural level inside the mitochondria. It stabilizes and protects the machinery that makes energy. Repair, then stimulate. You run it the other way around and you get exactly what people describe in my comments. 6 weeks in, 8 weeks in, nothing's happening. Second rule here, and this one's similar. Start one mimetic at a time. If you add MOTS-c and Sloop 332 together and something works or doesn't, you have no idea which one to credit or blame. You pick one, you run it long enough to read it and then decide. Which brings up timelines because expectations are where most people quit early. And this is not appetite suppression. You don't feel a mitochondrial peptide the way that you felt your first GLP-1 dose. What you're looking for is the boring stuff. Training that stops feeling like wading through mud, an afternoon where you don't crash. And the patients that I coach, that shows up over weeks, not days, sometimes months. Anybody who tells you a mitochondrial peptide is dramatic in the first week is selling you something. And by the way, the mistakes that people make just handling and storing these peptides quietly kill more results than any of this. And if you want a full video on just that, let me know in the comments and that will become one of my upcoming videos here if there's enough interest from you guys. Everything that I covered so far makes the weight come off, but none of it makes the job stay. And that's job number 4, my friends, muscle mass. And this is the one that I'd fight for if you only had one part of this video. When you lose weight fast, and on Reta, you will lose it fast, you don't only lose fat. You lose muscle alongside it unless you actively defend it. And muscle isn't just a look. Muscle is the tissue that burns your calories, holds your blood sugar steady, and keeps the metabolic floor underneath you. You lose enough of it and you arrive at your goal weight with a smaller engine than you started with. That's the person that I watched that ultimately end up regaining. They're still doing the work. There's just less of them to burn anything up. So the peptides that matter most here aren't the ones that speed the loss up. They're the ones that protect what's underneath it. The pair that I go to often, CJC, Ipamorelin, or tesamorelin blends to as well. CJC and tesamorelin signals your body to produce more of its own growth hormone over time. The Ipamorelin, that gives that signal a bit of a nudge. Together, that's what we use to protect the muscle that you're fighting to keep. And most people notice the sleep first, deeper sleep and real recovery from training instead of dragging. Now, the alternative is tesamorelin, and it's worth knowing why. Tesamorelin is FDA approved for visceral fat in a specific patient population. And it's the option that I lean on for that deep abdominal fat, not what you pinch. And it comes with a real caveat here. It can affect glucose tolerance. So if you are going in that direction, glucose and A1C, they get watched. That's not a reason to avoid it. It's a reason to have somebody watching. All right, those are the 4 jobs. Now, a few of these peptides earn their spot for the reasons that have nothing to do with the scale. GHK copper is the one that I use for skin, what I reach for when somebody's dropping weight quickly. Oral BPC with KPV is what I use when the gut is the problem. Patients tell me the inflammation settles, they feel better, and for the ones where gut is the entire story here, that's the first thing that we address. And the sleep that I mentioned with CJC and IPA, it's a real benefit in its own right, not a side note here. Now, before I tell you what to do with all of this, be honest with yourself here for a second. If you could only add one thing right now, would you know which one it should be? Comment where your stack is actually at, not the doses, just how long you've been running it and whether you can actually tell it's doing anything for you. I do my best to read the majority of these comments, and the most common patterns end up becoming future videos. Because here's what all 4 jobs are building towards if you haven't figured it out. The goal was never to stay on those larger doses of anything forever. It's to get down to a maintenance floor, the lowest amount that holds your results. And for most people, that's a low clinical dose, not 0. Medication independence means independence from those higher therapeutic doses. Something usually stays, and what determines how low you go isn't just willpower. It's how much muscle and metabolic machinery you've protected on the way down. That's the whole point of the stack, my friends. So look at what this takes. Which job needs filling? What has to be repaired before you stimulate anything? Whether your foundation can support what you're adding, and whether the thing that you've added 3 weeks ago is actually working or just sitting there costing you money. Now, that's a lot to carry on your own. And most people are carrying it off of a forum thread and a lot of educated guesses. So here's what we can do differently for you. You're not just getting your peptides in a box. You get your prescription through our partner 503A pharmacies, and you get a medical team that you can actually reach by text or phone, for those moments when real questions come up. These are real humans, not AI or ticketing systems. Just text the number on the screen, guys, or check out that link in the description to book yourself that free call. You'll get to talk with one of our patient educators who will get a read on what you're running and what you're trying to do. And they're going to walk through whether it's a fit and explain how the intake call with our medical team actually works. The medical team then, if you decide to move forward, is going to jump on a call with you and they're going to design that protocol. And then you've got them there in your corner if and when you need them. Real quick, before you go, everything that I cover on this channel, we also break apart and post over on our Clips channel, Dr. Jones DC Clips. One topic per video instead of everything at once. So if there's a specific piece that you're after, it's sitting there on its own. I'll leave a link to that channel in the description. Now, if peptides are on your radar because what you really are trying to fix is a weight problem and you want to get to the root of it. This is my big struggle. This is what I'm passionate about, something deeper than just peptides alone. We do that too as well. Text that same number either way. Now, quick note before you book, if what you're really after is just someone to sign off on a stack that you're sourcing and running on your own, and coaching isn't what you're actually looking for, that's not the lane that we're in. And if you're just starting Retatrutide and you're still climbing the dose and nobody's told you what to do that first 90 days, there's that video right there. I covered the protection side of everything that I just covered, the protein number, the training, and how much muscle you're carrying when you finally come down. We'll see you guys later.